It's Thursday night. It's 7:33 p.m. It is Taxi Vlog 341, something like that. Well, why is it 7:33? Because I went to work already at about 6:15, and I went and picked up the taxi, and I sat there for a while. I watched a couple of videos, and then I got a call. And I took this lady with a walker and a prosthetic leg and a whole bunch of things that she bought at the shopping center home. After I dropped her at home, I realized that I didn't have my camera to make a taxi vlog, so I went back home and picked up the camera and spare batteries. And it's a good thing I got the spare batteries, because the battery crapped out just as I was starting to make this video, or about to start. So now we got fresh batteries, and hopefully we can make the whole video, make a go of it. So Monday night I came out. It was pretty quiet. It was one trip an hour, like it often is Monday this time of year, and it got better after midnight. And it was somewhat steady, but not exactly busy. I mean, I did okay. I took home, just under $100. That was okay. I didn't mind. I didn't have anything special happen that night. Tuesday night, I came out to work again, and I had 4 trips in the first hour. And I was busy. I was busy, like busy. Almost all night long. I wanted to read like 100 pages. I got to read maybe 20 or 30 during the whole night. And over a 12-hour period, 20 or 30 pages is not a lot. It's just a little break here, a little break there. Read a page at a time, get a call in between, and just busy, 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 busy. It ended up that it was still going at 4 in the morning. I didn't even sleep. I didn't sleep Tuesday night at all. I was just going. It was like a Friday. I had $300 on in the morning, and I thought, okay, I'll sit here in the parking lot and take a rest before I go and wash the car and fuel up. And it was 5:45. No, it wasn't 5:45 yet. It was 5:25. So I thought I had time for one more. And besides, the owner was going to be driving on Wednesday during the day, and he usually starts only after 7 or so. So I figured, yeah, it's 5:25, whatever. Then the call came in for 5:45 to pick up somebody at a certain address, and she has a walker, and it gave me a destination, which was another address like halfway across town from where I was going to pick her up. And so, okay, fine. But then after that destination, at the very end, there was a note. It said picking up 2 parties and going to the ferry. Oh, okay. So it was a call from the Harriet and Burnside area, the first call. I picked her up right on time, got her bag in the back, and then we were going to meet her friend who was up on Alameda, and the dispatcher left me a note saying, call for additional information for this trip. And so I called him. I said, well, what's up? I mean, it looks like I have 2 destinations, but I figured out that I've got to go get somebody else and take them to the ferries. And he said, yes. Have you ever done these before? I said, I don't know. What is it? He said, it's a something tours company, and you take them to the ferries, and you charge it to the company, and yeah, okay, sure. I'm familiar with the routine, although I've never worked with this company before. Fine. So I picked up one lady and we had a nice chat on the way to pick up the other lady, and we had another nice chat all the way out to the ferries terminal at Swartz Bay, and the total of the fare was like $70, and that was on the company, the $70, and they gave me a $5 tip on top of that, so $75 at the very end of my night, and it was a very good night to begin with. Man, I was happy, you know. I thought, oh well, there goes, that's half of the money I expect to make this week so that I can get the rent together. Let me tell you now, on Thursday night, I've already got the rent together. And that's because of last night. Now, last night, I came out to work and it was steady, but not, it was steady. It was going good until 11:30. I was one pretty much right after the other. I did not get much reading done, and I was quite exhausted from the night before where I was working non-stop, and then I worked like an hour overtime in effect because of that run out to the ferries. So I was pretty tired because in the morning I went and did my exercise, and I did my big walk around the big block, and I was tired. So it was midnight. I was reading my book. I don't know if I showed you this one yet. It is The Council of Shadows by S.M. Stirling. Yeah, I know. I'm getting close to reading everything that Steve Stirling has ever written. It's these vampire creature people who are sort of like the Anunnaki or Illuminati or whatever you want to call the superior beings that are controlling our society and hurting us like sheep. Bah. Oh, where was I? Okay. Yeah, so I was tired, so I was reading my book and I fell asleep. I reclined my seat and fell asleep. And you know, I trusted in the system, in that the system goes beep when it's time to work. Nothing beeped. I slept. I slept and slept and slept. I woke up at about 2:45, and the system was doing nothing. I was like disconnected from it. So I turned on the backup. I figured, yeah, they've gone to voice. I turned on my voice radio, and all I heard was you know what that means? That means I couldn't hear any voices, so I couldn't get information on where to go for trips. And then I looked down at the radio and I noticed that there was a wire hanging out from under the floor mat, and the wire ended and there was nothing attached to it. And I'm saying, you look like an antenna wire. And it's pouring rain out, and I don't have any. I called the office at that point. I called the dispatcher and I asked him what's going on, and he said that the TELUS link, there's a link to our, I guess, satellite whatever system that does the dispatch. It's a I was going to say UPC. USB. It's a USB connection to some modem that is in the car that operates off some kind of satellite network. I don't know how the fuck it works, but it was down. The TELUS link was down. So here I was, no MDT, no beeping, no waking me up, and on the other side. So I went to my car, because my car has a toolbox in it. I had to figure out where this wire goes into on the back of the radio, and the only way to do that was to remove the radio from its mounting. And the only way to remove the radio from its mounting was to remove two screws that you could only feel. You couldn't see them, but you know, they used to have these mountings where you had like a wing nut on the side of the radio. No such luck with this puppy. I had to find the Phillips screwdriver, and I had to unscrew the radio, and then once I'd unscrewed the radio, the light in here was sufficient for me to see what to do, and there was a piece of metal with a piece of rubber around it that's supposed to crimp the outside of the coaxial cable to the part that screws into the radio. So I went and crimped that thing with a vice grip and made the connection, and as soon as I was putting the wire close to the receptacle, I started hearing the dispatcher on the radio. So okay, we were in luck. We were connected again. So I went 31 10 8 in 68. He says, Roger, 31, you're second in 68. And he gave me a list of all the cars that were on in town, and then after about 20 minutes of dicking around and getting the screws back into the radio mounting, I got a call. And then he gave me the address, and I'm thinking, oh no, Roger. So I go to that address, and it's like, it's like a crack house, kind of party house, kind of low rent, kind of run down place with an upside down refrigerator in the front lawn, and there's no grass because people just drive their cars onto the lawn. It's real shabby, and a couple times I've picked up people from there who are really doing bad drugs or psychotic or both. And so anyway, I got there, and I didn't have a phone number because I didn't have any information. I didn't have a data terminal to give me the phone number of the people in the house. So I went and knocked on the front door, and there's no answer. I got back into the car, and I radioed the dispatcher. I said, could I have a phone number for that address? So he says, 31 when you're ready. And then I said, go ahead, and I'm writing down the phone number. And just as I'm on the last two digits and saying, Roger, I'm in the middle of writing it, this woman opens up the door and says, here's a good tip for the night. You shouldn't be blocking my driveway, so can you move the car up ahead a little bit? And I'm thinking, oh, I'm in the middle of, I'm not good at multitasking, okay? There's three things going on at the same time. This is not a good scene. So anyway, I didn't get the whole phone number, and I said, I'm just trying to find out if there's somebody in the house who called for the cab, and and she said something like, I know I'm coming across like a bitch, but I said, whatever, I'm just trying to get contact the people who called for the cab so I can take them where they're going. She says, well, I'll come back and let you know. I'll go in the house now, so I'll ask if anybody needs a cab. Sure enough, she went in, and then some guy came out and he says, no, nobody here needs a cab. The fucking bitch. Fine. Great, fantastic. I had slept for 3 hours, policeman. I had slept for 3 hours, and it's not a policeman, it's somebody trying out a new Mustang. God damn it. There we are. They were sitting at the Ford dealership where the policeman usually likes to sit and watch traffic go by, and the lights were on, and it was a white car, but it was a white Mustang rather than a white police car. Anyways, yeah, after dealing with that piece of shit, then immediately I got another call. I couldn't believe it. Like, I had been for 3 hours sleeping and getting nothing, and nothing waking me up, and no communication at all. I get these people who were going from a 24-hour grocery store downtown to obviously to score some drugs because of where they were going to, and they wanted to get there for only $10 because all they had was 20. Well, it turned out that I did the best I could, and we were about 3 blocks away from where we're going. I said, we're not going to make it exactly for $10. Well, I'll do the best I can. So it flipped over the $10 mark like a block and a half from where they were going. So I figured, what the fuck, I'll eat the 25 cents. I had to eat a couple things that night. Just, there was one guy, his fare came up to $11.95, and he wanted to he said he'd have to go up to the apartment to get the other $2 because he only had 10 on him, and he was a fare from downtown, and whatever, okay, fine, good. And there was another one that, yeah, fuck, you owe me another 15 cents. Forget about the 15 cents. Get out of here. Okay. So then I got those people downtown, and then they said, oh, if you stick around, we'll need you in about 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. If you're still here, we'll take you back. I said, great. So I naturally didn't stick around. I went back to my part of town and sat for a while. And I tried to read my book, but it was kind of hard to read with the radio and there are a lot of guys who joined our fleet long after we were using voice radio, so they were really crappy on the radio, and hearing them was just hurting my ears, and I couldn't concentrate on what I was reading, because a two-way radio is not silent like a mobile data terminal. So anyway, at one point, said car 31. I said, yeah, 31. It says 31, go to Kingham Place. He gave me the address on Kingham Place. I said, okay, roger. So I don't usually get calls out towards Kingham Place because it's in zone 77. And zone 77 is sort of like the in-between zone between the town zone and the western communities, and usually 68, my zone, does not feed 77, or if it does, it's under really rare circumstances. But this time he just fed me to zone 77, and I said sure, why not. It's a quick run up the number 1 highway to the hospital and across the overpass and into Kingham Place. So I get to Kingham Place. I don't have a phone number because I don't have a data terminal, so I ring the doorbell. The guy comes to the door and says, oh yeah, I'll be right out. And he's looking like he's going to travel. Sure enough, he's getting his jacket on, and he's bringing a black bag with wheels, and he goes to the airport. $58 later. Thank you. Then I roll back into town and get another one immediately as I'm coming back into town, on the radio naturally, and it's on Quadra, and this guy goes to the dockyard out to the other end of Esquimalt. Another $20 fare. Beautiful. So there's a $20 fare there. And then I think I did another $10 fare, and then I got back to my part of town here, and I'm getting a call. Okay. I can go do that. Anyway, I'm getting back to my part of town here, and I'll tell you about the rest of it as we go, because I got enough time before we get to our address. So I'm sitting there, and it's about 25 to 6 again, and he gives out a couple other calls in the area, and then car 31 for quarter 2. You get the Van Almen Street Armories. 10-4. Get to Van Almen Street Armories. There's a gentleman who's immaculately dressed. He has a expensive looking luggage with wheels on it, and he's carrying what looks like a laptop on a shoulder bag, and he wants to go to the airport. So that was another $47. So off in that last 3 hours I made, let's see, 60, 110, and another 30, $140 in my last 3 hours on the road. And that was with a dead radio, or a dead MDT, and having to hook up the antenna. Then I told Cindy about the whole story in the morning, and she said, it's a good thing you're handy and able to fix things, because a lot of drivers would have just sat there and gone, duh, and parked the car and say, fix the radio. Whereas you were able to get your antenna hooked up and keep working. And that's what they call back home in Montreal a débrouillard. A débrouillard is the guy who is able to make do and make things work even though all you got is baling wire and shit. So, yeah, we're getting close to our second call of the night on a Thursday. And either in the morning or tomorrow, I will, sometime, I'm going to let you know how this Thursday night ended up after I work it. See you sooner. What a wipeout this night was. I think I made $50 for myself after being out here all night. Probably not much more than that. And you know what's really stupid? Is at one point I had a fare and it was like $9.25 and the kid said, all I got is a 50. I said, well, he says, do you have change for that? And I said, yeah, probably. Well, I got 20 here, and I was going to reach into my other pocket to get some more money. And he said, oh, that's fine. 20 is fine. Yeah, you did good. We liked the ride. So like I got a $20 tip from this teenager who, if he would have waited just a moment longer, I would have got more money out of my other pocket. But I said, I got 20 here, and he said, that's great, that's fine. So, thank you, you sure? Oh yeah, that's fine, that's great. Even with that, I only made like $50 for myself. And we got 1 hour left to go. It's 4:56 in the morning. If anything really memorable happens, I'll let you know, but I'm not holding my breath. We had 2 really good nights this week, so it's not a total wipeout, but tonight, just Wednesday, I mean Thursdays are not all that good. It's like hit or miss, and 2 times out of 3 it's a miss. The Friday night started out, I didn't feel really well. It was raining pretty hard, and the visibility sucked because the windshield was fogging up and there was lots of raindrops on everything from outside. So it was hard to see, especially when people dressed in black would step right in front of the cab and I'd have to avoid them. And seeing them just at the last moment, I had to hit the brakes really hard just to miss these people. And at one point somebody honked their horn at me while I was trying to pick up a customer. It was just chaos at the beginning, and as the night went on I was kept quite busy. And so I worked it pretty hard. And after it stopped raining around 10, 11 o'clock, it got easier, and I started feeling better, and I started, well, I did okay. It wasn't a record breaker Friday night, but it wasn't terrible either. It was about average. It was in the $400 ballpark, which, you know, is okay. I got too much paperwork, too much interacts and visas and stuff, and if it sounds like the fan is on kind of high, that's because I'm drying out the mats. The rubber mats on the floor, they're all wet because I just washed them. I just washed the car and vacuumed everything out, and it's all nice and spiffing clean, so day shift can deal with it. How are we doing here? Oh, third in zone. You know, there's like 15 minutes of the shift to go. I'm third in zone. I worked late Wednesday morning and Thursday morning, so, you know, I think I'll just pack it in. I was tired most of the night. I felt exhausted. I think I'm suffering from seasonal affective disorder, but now that I washed the car and I got some exercise washing the car, I think I feel better. Now I get to go home and eat something and have some whiskey, and all the gas pumps are being occupied. Oh my goodness. All these gas pumps are occupied. Look at the scene. Now I could come in backwards. Yeah, I guess I will. Yippee. Oh, look, they're fueling up the whole gas station. See him? That guy's working hard. I gotta pull in here. Oh, okay, so I'll get a little bit less in. You guys all park in such a way that I gotta pump uphill now.
That's your own fault.
Sure, because I got here too late, right? Show you the routine here. I mean, this is simple. Everybody does this all the time, right? Okay, let's get a 0 here. And there it goes. Yeah, so like I was saying, the night turned out okay. I'm thrilled that it's over now. I get to go home and eat and drink some whiskey. And that's pretty much it. Hope yours is better than mine. Good night.